Hi guys, it's Debbie, and today I would like to speak about some of the most annoying and overused cliches in films. The stale patterns that recur all over the world of cinema, even in some of my favourite movies. So today I would like to give you some of the examples I have noticed over the years, even in some TV series, and which may be different from the usual exaggerated background explosion, or the escape through the air vent, car that fails to start at the right moment, explosives stopped from detonating at the very last second. And for every cliche I will speak about, I will try to find at least one example of how it could have been avoided. The first cliche I would like to speak about is the underground, alternative, nearly fetish nightclubs where the villains hang out and which are often actually owned by the gang leader, and in which the gang tends to meet up to discuss plans regardless of the deafening music. Club scenes are all over films, but this is a very specific environment. Deep, dark, thumping music, the clubbers are dressed following an alternative fashion. In some films there is nearly an erotic connotation to the whole moment. In general, the club is either illegal, or it hides something, or it is the place where the good team will confront the bad team. These clubs or parties tend to appear in films with a darker plot, in which there is a lot of violence, as already the concept of a club is associated with something more rebellious. So in these plots, the clubs represent the underworld. The problem is they are always portrayed in the same way, to the point that watching certain films we nearly expect one of the scenes to be set in one of these clubs. Or for example, in a dark detective movie, we know that at a certain point there will be the routine visit to an underground club. If instead we want to look at the history of cinema to find a good villain meetup in a plot with a darker background, we should look at films such as The Crow or The Dark Knight, in which in both very similar cases, Eric and the Joker interrupt the villain's meeting. And the tension in these films, the grim background, the way the characters meet and interact is way more threatening than just the loud music at a club. The next cliche is that of the exceptionally cool parents. Now, everybody has different relationships with their parents, and many people are great at having that cool comeback sentence joking relationship. But what I'm describing is that exaggerately perfect family scenario, usually introduced to the viewers through a scene set in the kitchen of the house, with all the characters completing one another's sentences, parents understanding everything about their kids and making them feel totally at ease, throwing apples and catching them, see you after baseball practice sort of thing. You know, the parents sitting down for breakfast, the perfectly made up daughter running down the stairs, grabbing a piece of toast and running off because she's late for school after a funny exchange with the parents. Or the son sitting on the kitchen counter eating something, with the parents being extra cool and fun, coming up with puns and joking about the latest flirt, usually while they pretend to cook or eat something. I mean, if we really want to find a realistic family moment, in particular with a younger family member, and let's make it even at dinner time, we should take in consideration Whiplash. In Whiplash, we have a family dinner in which everybody starts talking over one another. We have an aspiring musician versus his athlete brother, relatives who don't really understand these personal choices and subconsciously award old school achievements. There are awkward silences, the kitchen is realistically messy. In general, it's more of a down-to-earth, relatable environment. The next cliche I would like to speak about is the welcoming message, which is played every time the characters in a film arrive at a location, just to assure the audience of what they're seeing. Okay, to explain it better, remember how every time we see a school in films, the school bell is ringing. Exterior school, school bell. Interior school, school bell. Well, there are certain situations in films in which the characters arrive at a specific location, and regardless of how many other hundreds of peoples are present in that moment, as soon as our characters step foot in the building, a loud message will welcome them, describing the environment they're visiting.
Welcome to US Robotics. You have entered the garage level lobby. Please use the elevators for direct access to the main level concourse. Thank you.
I think instead that two examples of a good and engaging introduction to a location can be seen in films like Interstellar and Blade Runner 2049. Without spoilers, Interstellar, Matthew McConaughey's character visits an unexpected location, and the environment is introduced by building the viewer's curiosity through interactions with different characters, visual cues. And in Blade Runner 2049 we have something similar, with Ryan Gosling's character carrying out an investigation for the LAPD and visiting many different and intriguing places. In neither case do we have the "welcome to" welcome to the Wallace Corporation headquarters. Another cliche I don't like and I don't understand is the use of glasses to create a character. In films, glasses tend to be implemented as a very specific element, rather than just something everybody around the world uses. Glasses are used to make us perceive a character as the brainy geek in the story, or on the opposite end of the spectrum, usually if it's a woman, as a sexy person, or in general they're used to create a very specific character. Nobody in films wears glasses for the sake of wearing them. Trust me, in most films you can take any group of people, and in most cases the glasses will stand out as a distinctive feature made to be remembered. I can't even think of a normal use of glasses to offer as a counter argument because it's just a normal thing, but maybe if we look at TV series we could take into consideration Bernard from the series Westworld. He wears glasses, it's a trait we remember, but which doesn't specifically define his character. Another annoying scene which is repeated in many films is the one of the computer technician just hitting random keys on a keyboard, entering any system in the world, even from a kid's laptop, putting up the most futuristic, sophisticated software for any occasion. Again, with TV series, if you've ever seen the series Criminal Minds, an FBI agent literally pulls up anything the team asks her in a matter of seconds. Hey Garcia, can you check if there happens to be a single white male aged 25 to 45? Sure, here's the killer and his address updated to a week ago. And if you saw one of the latest Fast and Furious films, I think actually the last one, there was a hacker that managed to get, what was it, the information off the reflection of a car captured from a grainy ATM camera. I think an example of impressive but realistic hacking can be seen in films such as The Social Network, which depicts the creation of Facebook and is based on real-life events and the actual process of building the website. Other annoying and overused cliches are, for example, the characters visiting bars in order to rub off their sorrows thanks to abnormal quantities of alcohol, or they party too hard, they ask the bartender to leave them the whole bottle, but eventually end up breaking something, get into a fight, kicked out of the venue. And right after that comes the cliche shameless awaken the following morning. Oh, I have no idea what happened last night. Who is this stranger in my bed? I can't even count how many times I've seen this happen in films. And then there's the cliche of every country in the world being portrayed through specific features and in which very specific events happen. For example, the United States get all the alien invasions. Great Britain is either the home exclusively of posh people, or it is only made up of London, seen as the ultimate rock free spirit destination. If there is a scene in Italy, it will be the summer, and it will only be set in Venice, Rome, sometimes Naples. Same goes for France, which has just one city, Paris. Every country in the African continent has an evil warlord. The Asian cities are always where natural disasters occur. There are so many other cliches, but they're the usual ones such as flashlights failing to work, dolls possessed by demons, cats frightening their owners by accidentally knocking things over. So let me know, what is the cliche that annoys you the most and you think is way overused? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe and I'll see you soon. Bye!